She's getting him neutered.
Neutered?
She's got mine. Now she's going for his.
When?
Tomorrow.
Then we get him tonight.
You mean steal him?
Russell, I don't think you're seeing the big picture here. What's happening to your dog is symptomatic of what's happening to men all over this country.
They're being stolen from their backyards?
No. They're being emasculated by feminists and liberals who want us to be soft and obedient.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it's time we took our manhood in our own hands.
So the Mangina-in-Chief is kind of in trouble. He did the unthinkable. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. He made a comment on the physical beauty of a female, and I'm just astonished because I didn't think he found females attractive. But it is what it is. Apparently, the Mangina-in-Chief made a comment about California's Attorney General, Ms. Harris, and apparently the femi-fascists didn't like it because you're not allowed to give a female a compliment anymore. But I don't think this woman is all that. It is what it is. But then again, if you wake up to that every day, I can understand why you might think this woman is the best Attorney General you've ever seen. But that's neither here nor there. So you know who it is, our favorite black feminists, the ones going to go around the country on her Teach Men Not to Rape tour. Sherlina, the black, I guess she's Native American too. You know, black women aren't black women anymore. They're all mixed with something. But she's taking time out of her rape tour, teaching men how not to rape, and I guess she's going to respond to the Mangina-in-Chief's comments and, you know, convince us how out of line he was, disrespectful he was. So let's read her little article that she does for the feministic website. Zerlina's little article is called Obama's Kamala Harris Best Looking Comment Crossed the Line. Here we go. California Attorney General Kamala Harris is brilliant, accomplished by all accounts. She has a very promising political career future. Barack Obama, the Mangina-in-Chief, and Attorney General Harris are close friends. They're friends. He actually knows her. So when he reportedly said at a Democratic fundraiser about Harris, she's brilliant and she's dedicated, she's tough. She also happens to be by far the best-looking Attorney General. The president clearly meant it as a harmless compliment about a friend. But his compliments about Harris' look in a public sphere are not appropriate. Okay? President Obama is a feminist ally. This is from Zerlina Maxwell. I'll repeat that. President Obama is a feminist ally, which is why it is important to call out remarks with love in order to bring awareness to the issue of sexism in politics. Oh, the focus on Harris' looks is not new. I didn't think he focused on her looks. He said a whole bunch of other nonsense, giving her more credit than she deserved, and then he complimented her looks. But alright. Harris ran for district attorney in 2003, was wroth with sexism. Salon John Walsh wrote yesterday that while covering Harris' race in 2003, she received calls from Democrats who wanted to comment on how Harris' success was in part because she was physically attractive in a past personal relationship with former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown. What does this have to do with anything? Ms. Harris' looks are irrelevant. I don't get your point, Zerlina. Harris' physical appearance is not relevant. You keep saying the same crap over and over again. In terms of how she does her job, I don't think he said that had anything to do with her job. Harris is not a fashion model. She's a chief law enforcement officer in United States, California, and should be judged on her credentials, nothing more. I don't think he judged her by saying she was attractive, but we'll continue. Adding her looks to the list of objects describing her talent diminishes her accomplishments. Even if even if the president said it in an off-the-cuff passing comment, Harris should be praised for her record, not her physical allure. Women are not objects. We simply exist for male confirmation. Harris is all by accounts a very special person, tackling issues including sex trafficking and the death penalty. That's all that matters. Her looks are not relevant to her skills and her performance as Attorney General, and they don't matter when she is evaluated for how well done she does her job. Harris is not a fashion model. You said that again, or a woman on display. Okay, I guess the next thing is called good intentions don't make it right. The president's marks, while mild-mannered and with no malicious intent, are still problematic because they come in the context of culture which more and more often not values on how women look above everything else. What does it have to do with anything? The context of the president's comments matter both in terms of public setting with which they were made and the sexist culture. So there's a rape culture, now there's a sexist culture. Alright, I got it. With such permanent in our collective psyche. Calling out the president for his remarks doesn't mean he's a bad person or that he's a sexist. No? Okay. Because he's a feminist ally, so you won't call him a sexist. Got it. As I said before, the President Obama is an ally. We know he's a feminist ally. You said it again. This past week, Melissa Harris Perry's two last names, Harris Perry, laid out a number of rules on how to be a good ally, which include being open and learning and expanding your conscience by listening more and talking less. So basically, if you want to help somebody with a cause, you have to do everything they want you to do, or else they're going to call you out. Basically, do what they say if you want to be on their team, I guess. There are many allies of Obama supporters who don't think what the president says is problematic. I'm not a supporter of him, and I still don't think it's problematic, but moving on. Who thinks this is all much about nothing? But it's important to remind people that Attorney General Harris is a smart, successful person based on her merits, and there are plenty of other compliments the president could have offered. So now you want to dictate how he gives compliments. Wow. Yeah. So, wow. Anyways, let's say what that said again. There are plenty other compliments the president could have offered up in a public setting that would not have been appropriate. The hope is that President Obama is listening, and the next time he will simply say she's brilliant and dedicated and tough and stop talking. Selena, I wish you stopped talking. Anyways, let's examine. So, the man Giant Chief made a comment about a female who's a friend of his, and he commented on the physical features or physical attributes, saying she's a beautiful Attorney General. I guess opposed to the rest of them, she might be. I don't think she's all that, but it is what it is. And it's femifascists, like many of them on the left, the ultra-militant ones, they want to dictate to men how they act, how they talk, how they think. That's the funny thing to me, though. This feminist said she didn't want men telling her how to act, how to dress, not to drink. When it has to do with rape or anything, I'm pretty sure she doesn't want men telling them to do anything. But this feminist wants to tell men how to behave, how to joke, when not to joke, how to give compliments to your friends. They want to redefine you. And this is my problem with feminists, these ultra militant ones who want to redefine male behavior. They want to police masculinity. They want you to be a man on their terms. They're trying to cut your balls off and make you the man they want you to be. So the biggest issue I have with this is the woman herself did a reply saying that what the president said was not sexist. And I noticed this. Feminists get all their pennies in a bunch over a situation, and they use a situation to make a big deal out of it. But if you go to the source, majority of the time the source says it wasn't a big deal. So she should have waited until the female Attorney General responded And then she should have made her comments. If the attorney general would have said, I didn't like that, was what she wouldn't do because it would have made it look bad. But if she said that, I could respect this article. No, I wouldn't respect it at all, but still, I could understand if she did that first and then waited to see how she responded. Now she looks like an idiot because the female in question made a statement that it didn't matter. And I see feminists are still trying to say, no. It's not about him being sexist. It's not about him being this or that. It's just the setting that he was in. He shouldn't have said that. Well, unfortunately, the man giant in chief has done this before many times. But to men, oh, yeah. So here's an article from Dan Ironman, I guess. It says President Obama routinely calls important accomplished men good looking. As the president continues to debate on how sexism, as the nation continues to debate on how sexism, President Obama was yesterday for calling California Attorney General Kamala Harris, brilliant, dedicated, and by far the best looking Attorney General. It's worth adding this context. Usually when Obama says a high-ranking government official is good looking, it's in reference to a man. So overwhelming majority of the time he says this, he's talking about a dude, which is something I would question, and I would say pause. But that's the man giant chief. He can do what he wants to do. Now, he said this comment many times before about other men. He's commented on the looks of other high-ranking officials, but they were men 5 different times. And none of the feminists got mad about that. They didn't get butt hurt. I didn't hear any men getting butt hurt either. Let's see. Introducing HUD Secretary Sean Donovan. Last February, Obama declared, there he is, the good-looking guy in the front here. At a speech in March, Obama appointed his Secretary of Interior, Ken, don't know his last name, but calling him a good-looking guy. A couple of months ago, Obama gave a shout-out to the outstanding Secretary of the Navy, Ray Mabus. There he is right there, a good-looking guy over there at the end. Another one, Obama even extended his favorite compliments to Stanley Cup Championship Pittsburgh Penguin. I have to say, all of you guys look pretty good out there with your playoff beards. This is kind of moist, but anyways, I'm going to keep reading. Obama said during the White House ceremony, they're pretty much good-looking guys without all that. In short, Obama is an equal opportunity flatterer, not shallow, sexist pig. Calling people good-looking, men, women, penguins, it's just something he does. It's the most a tick at this point. He doesn't mean anything by it. However, these remarks do not occur in a vacuum of that accomplishments of a woman are routinely undermined by men. Man, this article was good, and now I just start turning. Who have trouble focusing on anything beyond physical attributes. It's universally understood. As Irene Cameron writes in Solon today, for every shirtless shot of Obama, there are probably 500,000 think pieces about the relatively elasticity of Hillary Clinton's skin. Ain't nobody got time to think about Hillary Clinton. What's wrong with you? Which is to say that even if his intentions were pure, Obama should know better that distribute his good-looking comments evenly to men and women. Calling Ray robust, good-looking doesn't undermine how serious people take him or his ability to oversee the Navy, but it did Harris no favors when Obama highlighted her looks, nor did it help Christine Gambrin in April in 2011 when Obama introduced her at the DNC fundraiser. Thusly, we've got some wonderful guests here today. First of all, the finest senator that you can ever hope to have, the senator from the great state of New York, Chuck Schumer, is in the house. And that is far more attractive. Junior Senator, Christine, the other feminist, I'm going to just leave it like that, is here. The rules are not the same for how we talk about men and women, and they shouldn't be. Next time, Obama should stick with his brilliant and dedicated. Oh, so I thought this article was actually going to be good, but apparently it's not. It's pointing out the reality that Obama has said the same thing about men, but apparently he's flipping, saying it's okay to do that to men, it's just not okay to do that to women. My bad.
Get up a little bit. November, Vogue did a feature issue on you. They did a spread. You looked fantastic. So I have to say, did it bother you at all when when Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid said you were the hottest member in Congress? No. Did it bother you?
He's the hottest member in Congress.
He was trying to be sweet. He was trying. Majority Leader Harry Reid said you were the hottest member in Congress. No. Did it bother you?
So there's one of the femme fascists right there. You see on my screen. She's actually my state senator, but she was on the No View, and Sherry, I had a lot of abortion shepherd, brought up a silly comment, but she responded, and as you see, Harry Reid said that she was one of the hottest members of Congress. And I think that would probably have been the terminology, something that femme fascists would have a problem with, but they didn't. It wasn't a big deal. But more importantly, the feminist right here, she didn't have a problem with it either. So I just think it's odd how these femme fascists, they just make up situations to get upset and angry about. And I gotta talk about some other ones. They coming at Rick Ross for a line in his song. Then they're coming at Tyler Perry for a scene in his movie. And it's just ridiculous how they just pick any little thing, like just nitpicking and saying, well, that's sexist, that's racism, that promotes rape culture. It's just getting out of hand. They're doing too much. But again, this female right here, she didn't find anything offensive about what he said. She thought he was being funny and he was being nice. And I'm telling you, it's females like feminists like Zelina and Adrian Mitchell's, like those type of women are cancerous to an environment where men and women have to work with one another. It's like I didn't even post the video clip. There was something Zelina Maxwell, the black feminist, said about the this situation that happened in Vancouver, where they're teaching men not to rape, and she believes this ad brought down rape 10% because of this campaign. But she said the statement that it made her think differently about men. So prior to that situation, she's apparently under the illusion that all men are rapists, but it was that group in Vancouver in Canada that changed her mind. And I'm saying chicks like this make it really uncomfortable. You have to be on eggshells when you're around them. You don't, like, honestly, if I seen a chick like Zelina in the elevator, I'd probably get off. She'd probably call me a rapist bitch for looking at her or breathing in her direction. Like, chicks like that make it very difficult to work with females or be in their presence. And that's why you have issues like the situation that happened with Adrian Mitchell's, the tech at Silicon Valley. And she overheard a joke that had nothing to do with her, none of her business. And she commented on it and tried to shame these men and they got fired. But I'm saying, like, these type of women make it difficult for employers to want to hire you when you act like that. It's just it's like these females want to police everything about men and make them do what they want to do. Like, they want to make them their pets and say, this is how you talk to a female. This is the funny thing, though, is if you do something to them, it's like on their terms. Like, they want you to protect and die for them and do your thing as a man when they want you to. There was a situation on Sean Hannity where she was on here talking about gun control, and she said if something came in the studio with a gun, she would, try to get out. But of course, the gun owner who she wants to take guns from, she would stand behind him because he has a gun and he's a man. But she doesn't. But when he offers her advice on what to do in a situation or what you might be better prepared in case something happened to you, she doesn't want to hear that. So it's like it's basically on their terms. When they want you to do something, you do it. If they don't like the way you do something, you have to change it. And that's the whole problem. The man giant in chief apologized for the situation. And like she said, he's a feminist ally. And what she did to him, or what they got him to apologize for, even though the female in question said she didn't have an issue with it, this is what they want men to be like. They want them to be these very effeminate, emasculate punks with no balls who haven't dropped yet. They just say, well, I don't like that and you need to change. And I ain't about that life. But it's getting really, really out of hand, especially since they're dominating the workforce in a lot of areas now. And this is why you see situations where even if it's a female-dominated office, a man can't be comfortable in an environment because of this type of mentality that these females have. It's crazy.